Again. Stop touching the microphone.
Stop it.
Don't touch the
I
microphone.
keep, and you know, the minute you do that, I'm like over here wiggling the
Uh-huh.
headphones and my little thing over here. I'm like, what's breaking up?
Do you not notice that the music stays solid, but my voice is the thing?
Just
that
really,
gets,
it's throwing me off. Just
All right.
stop it.
Don't touch nothing.
You're messing
Gotcha.
me up.
I apologize.
Thank you.
Won't happen
Don't
again.
move. Just right there.
That'll make the whole TV channel really worthwhile, won't it?
Mm-hmm. Don't move.
I'm not even going to list. I'm just going to talk like this the whole time. Okay, don't do anything now. It is Dixon inviting on Talk 99.5, talk995.com. We have got ourselves quite a day in front of us. 84 degrees for a high, 83 tomorrow. Got a 30% chance of rain today, 10 on both Thursday and Friday, but then things elevate on Saturday night and into Sunday. Looks like you're going to have a very wet Easter morning. Sorry about that. The kids will have to do the Easter egg hunt inside. That's the way it works.
Or
sometimes.
maybe, the day before or something. I don't know what we're going to do with that.
Now, it'll be nice to have that pollen get washed off my truck. I don't mind telling you. I'm really glad that we can get at least a little bit of a cleansing rain. But what it's not going to do is it's not going to wash your house. It's not going to wash your driveway. It's not going to wash, your patio. It'll do a little rinsing, but it's not going to do the washing job that you're looking for. What you need for that is DrivewayWashing.com. Cody opened up this business 11 years ago, and, man, he has been growing by leaps and bounds, doing commercial work for barbers, local schools, the BJCC, a lot of restaurants you go to. He does all the cleaning involved. He does cleanings of patios and decks and roofs and stain removal, siding, gutter cleaning, rust removal, outdoor windows, and, yes, driveways. That's the name of the company, DrivewayWashing.com. Obviously, you can schedule him to clean while you're away, which is convenient. You just go like, look, okay, come in, give me the estimate. The estimate is free, by the way. And then you say, all right, show up and do this on Thursday or Friday or whatever. While I'm at work, you come home, the job is done, it's clean, everything is taken care of. You're going to love the experience. Average job takes 3 or 4 hours, pricing incredibly reasonable. We're dealing with a bona fide company. If there is a problem, you already know who the head of the company is. It's Cody. He's probably the guy who's going to give you the estimate. So you're dealing with the top dog when it comes to that. 915-0646, 915-0646. You can call or text that number. DrivewayWashing.com on the World Wide Web, should you wish to reach him that way. Let's do this.
And now, it's Dixon and Vining's top 3 things you need to know.
President Trump will be addressing the nation tonight, 8 o'clock our time. Says that they're making great progress in negotiations. Says that we're getting some oil through the Strait of Hormuz. Says that he figures 2, maybe 3 weeks tops and will be out of Iran, and that he accomplished the main goal, which was they will not have a nuclear weapon. It'll take them 15 years or more to rebuild the infrastructure that we have torn down, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What's he going to say tonight? I don't think it's just a standard update. I feel like he's going to give us more.
I think there will be more to it. Why else would you need to do that? But, I think a lot of people are nervous right now because of the cost of gas. When you go to the gas pump, it's costing a whole lot more to fill up your car. And maybe with looking at another 2 to 3 weeks, and I think the Dow gave us some indication yesterday. They're like, oh, here's the positive turn. We're going to be done with this war here pretty soon. We'll begin to see gas prices come down. Maybe there's more to it, but the fact that he's addressing the nation, number one will be, I would think, Iran, and then start to talk about the economy and maybe some other things that are important to the American people. And a lot of times it's about our wallets. People are concerned about that.
So, this might be his. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself speech. You're saying that this is sort of just a calming.
It could be a little bit too. Also about we're talking about elections and making those more secure. A lot of the reasons that we voted for Donald Trump, he's going to address those things tonight.
All right,
and maybe it is part of the election process.
Let's watch and see, and then we'll talk about it some more tomorrow.
Yeah.
Donald Trump will spend some time today in the Supreme Court building as there is a showdown on birthright citizenship.
He should be there now. I believe oral arguments are underway.
What the president did, of course, was sign an executive order ending birthright citizenship, which, of course, immediately was challenged, which was the whole point. The question is the 14th Amendment. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. The court's interpretation of subject to the jurisdiction thereof will have major consequences for immigration enforcement, national security, and the meaning of American citizenship. If that phrase is taken to mean, well, if you came here illegally, you're not subject to the jurisdiction thereof.
That's right, because you're not a citizen.
Consequently, your kid is not a citizen because they're not subject to the jurisdiction thereof. And if this were to happen, I believe, much in the same way, it wouldn't be they wouldn't go back and go like, now all you people who we said were citizens, you're not citizens anymore. Chances are good it would be we're going to go forward
right
from here.
Mm-hmm.
This
well,
will be
and
the,
again, I think through what happened with the southern border under the Biden administration and the millions of people that came in, the loophole, there's a little bit of a loophole here, and this is not how this was set up. This was not what was intended, but people have kind of abused that, and they're like, well, let's cross the border, we'll have a child, and, here we go. And that's really not what this was about.
No, well, in fact, we have Chinese women. There's actually birth tourism that is being done in China. They fly pregnant women here
to the U.S.
to drop a tricycle motor on U.S. soil, and then, now that kid has dual citizenship.
Yeah, and
both
that's
Chinese
not that.
and American. And it's strange because, for instance, all those diplomats that we have at the UN, all the people that are working in embassies around the United States, when their wives have babies, some of them are women, and some of them are the ones who are having the babies. When they have babies, we don't consider those to be an American citizen. I don't understand. Oh, right, you're not subject to the jurisdiction thereof. That's why. So an argument can be made, and the fact that the Supreme Court is even taking this up says a lot about how much merit they think there may be to it. Because there were folks who, when this initially came out, was like, you can't do that. There's no way that executive order is going to stand. It's going to fall. Many people thought that the Supreme Court would never take it up, and when they did, there was a little ripple of fear that ran through a certain group of people because they're counting on all those illegal immigrant children becoming American citizens.
That's the goal.
Growing up and eventually voting Democrat. So that's a little frightening to them, I guess. I can see why they might be upset by that whole thing. And then we got the Tyson plant, the Tyson chicken plant situation. Alabama man was awarded $70 million for getting a flesh-eating infection because of a 2019 wastewater spill from the Tyson Farms plant in Hanceville. Griffin sued, his name is Mark Griffin, he sued Tyson Farms in 2020. After a 4-week trial on Friday, jury sided with Griffin. Griffin had been hospitalized following the spill. The jury awarded Griffin $25 million in compensatory damages, $45 million in punitive damages. Why did he get compensatory damages to the tune of $25 million? Because he was a fisherman. And this thing killed a lot of fish.
A lot.
And then he got flesh-eating bacteria out of it, and it took off, I don't know what part of him or what parts of him, but there are parts I'd be willing to trade for $70 million.
I bet there's some parts you wouldn't be willing to trade.
No, there are parts that I would never trade for $70 million. And then there are those that I'm kind of like, $70 million,
I think a lot of people would be like, there's no body part. None.
Steve, any body
Nothing.
part you'd be willing to give up for $70 million?
No.
Maybe.
I guess maybe.
If it's my choice.
How are you going to go about removing that part? I guess that would be do I get some anesthesia?
No.
No anesthesia?
No. That's just they show up with a big axe and lop it off.
Oh, God.
Whatever.
Never mind. You can keep the $70 million.
All right, the $70 million.
Make it that quick and easy.
Yeah, exactly. As long as it's a sharp axe, I'd be okay with that. Yikes. 814, Dixon inviting Anthony and Company Jewelers, 2080 Valleydale Road next to Ragtime Cafe. Big little jewelry store. I say that because when you pull up, it looks like a small store from the front, and then you go inside and you go, oh, bigger than I thought. Plus, they really stack the jewelry in there. I mean, there are some places where they spread it out far and wide. No. These guys, they've got a lot of jewels, a lot of precious metal in each case, and, of course, great security, so don't even think about it. I'm just saying. More in the back, by the way. Lowest prices, so low, they can't afford to have a sale. It's crazy. They do a lot of repairs. They do those in-house as well. Super nice. If you don't have any idea what to get your significant other, whether it's for Easter or maybe you're buying her something for Mother's Day, maybe you're just doing a just because present, or maybe it's anniversary time or it's wedding time. you can just ask one of the helpful, friendly staff at Anthony and Company Jewelers, and they will ask you a few pointed questions about your significant other, and then they'll lead you in the right direction. AnthonyCoJewelers.com on the World Wide Web. AnthonyCoJewelers.com. 987-2224 on the telephone. Anthony and Company Jewelers. Well, how very fitting. 819 Dixon Inviting, Talk 99.5, Talk995.com. We're about to talk to someone from Aqua Systems, and you choose to play
Down by
I
the
Love
river.
That Dirty Water.
It's a talent.
Nice. Yeah, that's skill. Congratulations. You don't love that dirty water. That's why you need Aqua Systems. But Scotty P., Scott Pilkerton, the head chief bottle washer and cook over there. What is it?
Bottle washer and cook.
What is your title at Aqua Systems?
Head janitor.
Oh, yeah. Okay, very good.
I think you do a little more than that.
If
there,
you,
Scott.
I regularly tell you to call 383-3999 and get a free, no obligation demonstration on Aqua Systems. Scott would be the guy, largely, who comes out and does that. There are other people, right? But you'd be the main guy. Okay. Yeah, he did mine.
Yeah.
That's what talked me into it.
Well, good.
Yeah, I was sold. I mean, fascinating stuff. But we're here to talk about fluoride in the water because CAW, Central Alabama Water, at one point said, we're going to take the fluoride out. We're not going to put the fluoride in anymore. We're not doing this. Now, what is your history and knowledge of fluoride in the water?
Well, Val, I got to ask.
Yes.
Do you have any opinion prior to this about fluoride?
No.
Okay.
None. No.
And
That's
that
why
is,
we had you in, because I was like, he'll be the expert in this.
and that is
'Cause
the
we don't
vast
know.
that is the vast majority of
Yeah, we don't.
people.
I'm
They
like-
don't really have an
And
opinion.
I think a lot of people didn't even know there's fluoride in there. They knew about it years ago, maybe. They're like, are we still putting fluoride in water? Why? I don't, there's a lot of questions about it.
It was started before you and I were born.
Yeah, I think
could be
you're
wrong. It
right.
started like the 50s, 60s.
And so the very first municipality was Grand Rapids, Michigan, and they did the test to find out if it would help with tooth decay because dental health in this country was
like zero.
absolutely
we were not
zero
doing it right.
in the 40s. And so on the success of reducing tooth decay in those municipalities, the American Dental Association, along with the American Medical Association, recommended that municipalities start adding it to the drinking water. It was not until years after that, in the 50s, that commercially available fluorinated toothpaste hit the market.
Sure.
So the addition of fluoride to the drinking water was prior to
fluoride in
all
the
of the
toothpaste.
toothpaste
Yeah.
and mouthwashes and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
The people that have an opinion on fluoride have a very strong opinion on fluoride on both sides. I don't know who argues with each other more, Republicans and Democrats, or the pro-fluoride, anti-fluoride people, but they have very strong opinions of it.
And here's my question. You may or may not know the answer to that. Is fluoride expensive to put into our water system? Is it a huge cost, or is it something that's simple?
Well, for the research that I've done, one of the decisions for Birmingham Waterworks and whatever their name is today,
Yeah, call
is
Central Alabama Water.
Central Alabama Water
Right.
is one of the things was the cost. The only pumping station that Birmingham had that was still adding fluoride to the water was the Shades Valley. The other three, the equipment that was needed to put it into the water was in disrepair and has not been working, some of them since like 2023. So 3 of the 4 pumping stations have not even been adding fluoride to the water, and they said that it's going to be $2+ million per pumping station to get these back online, adding the fluoride. And the fluoride itself, the chemical that they add to the water, is $250,000 a year for those 4 pumping stations. So you got to think, $6 million to get them back online, and then another $250,000 to add it. So I want to let you know I am not a medical professional.
No. What?
I am lucky I graduated high school.
Okay.
But this is what I have learned in my 9 years of being a water treatment professional with Aqua Systems, is there is no doubt the instances of tooth decay have gone down since they started adding fluoride to the drinking water. However, shortly after that, they also added it to the toothpaste and mouthwash and rinses and things like that. However, there are confirmed medical studies that show that fluoride at certain levels causes health problems, specifically with lower IQs in children.
Wow.
And there was a lawsuit in 2024 that is forcing the EPA to re-examine the minimum levels of fluoride that they are putting in their water. And so some municipalities, including Madison in North Alabama, Buffalo in Buffalo, New York, have decided, well, okay, there's fluoride in the toothpaste. Do we really need to be putting it in the water? There's this lawsuit. There's everything going on. So they decided on their own to take it out.
Right.
The other thing is, so there is the benefits of fluoride, but according to the Centers of Disease Control, the benefits of fluoride is topically. It's only when it touches your teeth.
Right.
Or your
Drinking
gums,
it,
your teeth and
not
gums.
helping you.
Yeah.
Might be hurting you, in fact.
Correct.
This was my question, and it is sort of fascinating me. Now, does my Aqua Systems whole home system, does that remove the fluoride?
There is not a whole home system outside of reverse osmosis that will remove fluoride.
Okay.
There are some other technologies out there that says it will reduce fluoride, but will not remove it.
Okay. Well, I've got the reverse osmosis system, so I
And-
can just use that.
So for the most part, what we're understanding this morning is that fluoride was put in there years ago. It was mainly for teeth, teeth and gums, right? As fluoride goes. But since we now have it in toothpaste and mouthwash, we really don't need fluoride in there. That if we brush our teeth regularly like we're supposed to, with toothpaste that has fluoride in it, we should be good to go. So then you say, why are we putting it in our water? I understand early 1900s, 20s, 1930, maybe even 1940, but we reached a point where now we're going to the dentist, most people, on a regular basis for cleanings, and we're brushing our teeth regularly every day, some using mouthwash. Why? Why do we still need? I think the argument is, why do you spend the money? If the basis is that people need it for their teeth, I think those people have a bigger problem. The problem is you need to be brushing your teeth and not dependent on a water system to put fluoride in it. Because if there's no benefit really to drinking it, and it might even be adverse, your body may be adverse to drinking that, and it's only fluoride for your teeth, let's get it out of there.
And when you brush your teeth, they tell you to spit it out.
Right.
Yeah.
So why are we ingesting it?
Yeah, I don't think it's the mint that
No.
they're concerned about.
Another fair question. When you are, for instance, getting bottled water at the store, probably no fluoride in that, huh?
There are specific fluorinated drinking water that I see specifically for infants. That's concerning to me.
Gotcha.
But, to each his own, to consult your medical professional.
Yeah.
We're trying to make
Consult
them
your
stupid.
doctor.
But a lot of people do turn to bottled water
Sure.
because they are concerned with fluoride. But, what we're finding out with microplastics, that bottled water is like 250 times more contaminated with microplastics than the tap water is. So it's not really a better alternative.
No. I was just thinking, if they're trying to point to, well, look, we got the fluoride in the water, and that's really helping all these kids, and you say, but everybody grabs a bottle of water out of the fridge on their way out the door. So if they're really not drinking the bottled water, or they're not drinking the stuff out of the tap, that's not what's helping them. It is, in fact, the brushing of the teeth. It is the using the mouthwash. It's using the rinses and the so on and so forth that's really getting the teeth where they need to be. And proof positive, we have an entire control section. It's called Great Britain, where they don't do any of this stuff, and you can see how bad their teeth are. So this is why. No, I believe that we have reached the point where we are putting fluoride in the water because that's the way we've always done it.
Yeah, that's
and
what it
there's
sounds
going to
like.
be people that are just going to lose their minds if and when we take it out. I sincerely hope we do take it out in Birmingham. I don't think we need it. Apparently, this judge says you got to give 90-day notice before you make any changes. Well, we're not going to give it. We're not going to fix everything. Do $2 million per pumping station, another $250 to pay for the fluoride, and then go, all right, we're giving you 90-day notice. We're going to stop.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense
No,
at all, at least
none.
not to me. All right. Can you stick around for a minute?
Sure.
All right, good. Scott Pilkerton is here from Aqua Systems, 383-3999 if you'd like to talk to them, by the way, about getting a whole home system for VU. I love mine. You'll love yours. But also, you can call here and ask a question if you would like, 545-9950, or you could drop us a text, and we can continue conversation about this very important issue that seems to be plaguing the Birmingham metro area. What's the deal with fluoride in the water? Who are these people? We'll get to that and more. Stick around. I don't know if it's. I think it's still coming up. I don't pay close enough attention to Sand Mountain, Winona, and this woman right here going to be appearing together. I'm a big Melissa Etheridge fan. I was listening the other day because I was in a truck that had a CD player. I dug out my CD of Brave and Crazy. For my money, her best album. Not a bad track on the entire thing. Truly great stuff.
Great rocker.
Yeah. I was really upset with her when she tied in with that real estate company. Fortunately, it was short-lived.
You're happy about that.
Well, yeah. It was like, this is so wrong. No, Melissa, wrong. No. Stop that.
Listen, she got to earn a living.
Bad Melissa. No.
You can't do concerts your whole life. You got to figure it out, right?
Judy Collins did.
Yeah, she did. Send in the clowns.
8:36 with Dixon inviting on Talk 99.5.
Daniel at Noble Contractors. I absolutely love that I know somebody that does gutters. Because if you own a home, you need somebody for a lot of different things. And gutters maybe don't come to mind because they're on the outside of your house, but man, are they important to make sure that the water runs off in the right direction. And that's not towards your foundation. And Daniel knows that better than anybody, a veteran of the military. And I've had a few friends and family members who reached out to him. Someone called and said, hey, I know you got a gutter person. I said, yeah, Daniel over at Noble Contractors. He went out, gave them a free quote, and did the job, and they were so happy that they went with Noble Contractors. There's a lot of big national companies out there, folks, but Daniel is local. He's going to do the job for much less. And you can find that out if you go ahead and get a free estimate. He'll give you that free estimate, 422-3034. Check out some of his work. If you go to Facebook, he's got stuff there, pictures there of some of the jobs that he has done, and just magnificent. And I know gutters may not sound really, exciting to you, but it is important to your home. And gutter covers. Everybody's about the gutter covers. Daniel has those too. So reach out to him today and let him give you that free quote. Let's get the gutters fixed. If you need repairs, he can do that. No problem. Noble Contractors, 205-422-3034. Look them up at noblecontractorsala.com.
Donald Trump on his way to the Supreme Court right now.
There you go.
Where he's going to be heckling some of the
Let's hope he doesn't heckle the
some of the lawyers that are
maybe,
making the.
Maybe Supreme Court Justice Jackson will be the one that he heckles.
He's just going to be like,
yeah.
DEI hire. You're a DEI hire. We all know it. Everybody knows it. Turn that robe in. You don't have any
She
business
does
with
need to
it.
turn in that robe. Everybody's turning on her. All the other justices are like, I'm getting away from you.
Yeah. You and Elena Kagan
Yeah.
picked on her the other day. It's
Uh-huh.
like, whoa, that was
Well,
brutal.
that's really brutal.
8:38 with Dixon inviting Scott Pilkerton is here from Aqua Systems as well, talking about fluoride in the water. Dave from Woodstock, what is on your mind, my brother?
Oh, not much, Richard. I used to work with that some years ago before I retired from the water business, and the chemical that we would add to the water was called hydrofluoric acid, and we were putting out like 0.7 part per million of fluoride. We'd have to run a test every shift.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't in purchasing, so I don't know how much stuff cost or what the equipment cost. I just know being in acid, it would eat the stuff up. And it was also a product of fertilizer production. There was one year when they had a pretty good drought going on. They wasn't making fertilizer, hence they wasn't making fluoride. So we couldn't get it. And, we just told ADM that, hey, we're out. We're temporarily not feeding until we can get it. And that was it.
All right. Good to know. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate the call and the information. It's acidic. Huh. Okay. That's it. I knew it was a mineral, right? That's technically it's a mineral. Fluoride is a mineral.
Naturally occurring in the site. But the fluoric acid that they had, which is another reason in the press release that that Central Alabama Water released, was because of the material handling.
Yeah.
And they have to go through safety, and this stuff is pretty nasty to handle, apparently. They have to have, they said it for employee safety, and handling this is another reason that they decided not to do it.
Hazmat suits and goggles, and they're putting stuff in the water that you're going to drink. I love that. What a great idea. Some of the texts we have received here. Terry, male or female, don't know, says, tell Scott I love my system.
Yeah. Thanks, Terry.
Everybody does.
Yeah, no question about it. Charles, who earlier said he's got an idea, he wanted to make April 1st a national holiday. Just a thought, have a great day. That struck me as odd. He comes back and says, I was just trying to make people laugh. It is April Fool's Day after all. Charles.
Patrick says this.
That's a fail. Big
Does
fail, Charles.
Aqua Systems make a countertop model like the big Berkeley water filter? I don't know
So-
what that is.
So have you ever been in somebody's house and
Yeah.
saw a big silver like canister that looks like a tea urn, like you'd see in a restaurant?
Right.
Those are called Berkey water filters, and they're technically I've tested them before.
Mm-hmm.
They're big refrigerator filters,
Uh-huh.
and they have specific filters that are supposed to take out fluoride.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to be very careful in things that you buy, because there are a lot of water filtration products on the market with very creative writing and no science to back them up.
Mm-hmm.
And they were actually sued because they said they were removing fluoride when they were not. The best option, if you are concerned about fluoride or any other chemicals or anything that they might be testing for, I'm more concerned about what they don't. The best option is a reverse osmosis drinking water system. If you've ever bought purified bottled water, they make that purified water using reverse osmosis. The technology reduces all contaminants. It doesn't matter what it is. It reduces everything across the board, what they know about, what they don't. And it is actually a small system that goes under your sink. You can have it with an additional faucet at your sink, but there's a new technology where you can actually have purified water on demand from your existing faucet. You don't have to have the smaller faucet.
Right.
And if you can get to it, we can also connect it to an ice maker or a refrigerator, which is a great option. And that lets you know that at least the water that goes in your body reduces everything across the board. And it is probably one of the most affordable options that we have for water treatment. And that's what most people do when they're concerned about their drinking water.
Every bit of that is at my house right now. When Scott came out, I can tell you this. He didn't just test my tap water. He tested the water that came out of my refrigerator door, because there's that little filter that's in there, and he said, these things are useless. And I said, come on, it's a filter. It says filter right on it. I got a whole cabinet full of them. Don't tell me it's useless. It's pretty useless. So he tests that water, and then I had a whole bunch of bottled water that I had in the fridge as well, and he tested that, and all of it was terrible. I mean, everything. The bottled water was no better than the tap water, and the worst of all, interestingly, was the refrigerator water, because apparently something was coming out of the filter that was making it worse. I was like, okay, this is good to know. So yeah, had the whole home system installed like 3 days later, and now it's nothing but crisp, clean water at the Dixon household. You can find out about this stuff, 383-3999. Give them a call. But the fluoride conversation fascinates me, mostly because there are so many nervous. We talk about this, and I don't want to drag you into this conversation, Scott, but we talk about this with vaccines.
Yes.
Where we say, why did we jump from 40-something to 41 to 77 vaccines like almost overnight? And maybe we need to take a look at this. And there's a whole segment of the population that's like, oh my God, how dare you even suggest looking at things? Like, what is wrong with looking at things? Why is it we can't go back and take another look and go, hey, maybe we got this wrong? We got the Dred Scott decision wrong, okay? We got the Supreme Court got several decisions wrong that they reversed, which was good. There was a time in this country when we thought owning another human being was perfectly acceptable. We were wrong about that. You know why we know we're wrong? We went back and revisited that conversation. We need to go back and start revisiting more and more of these conversations, and one of them is fluoride in the water, which at the time seemed like a good idea, and now probably superfluous.
Well, and I would think too, at the time they were putting fluoride in the water, maybe we didn't have toothpaste with fluoride in it. And I'm talking way back.
Yeah.
And that was the decision. Well, if we don't have fluoride in toothpaste, but we've got it in the water, then those that maybe can't afford dental care, their teeth aren't going to rot out because there's fluoride in the water. Well, I think aren't we way past that, guys? That everybody pretty much has access to a tube of toothpaste
I would
and
hope so.
a toothbrush.
Yes.
I mean, 99% of the American population has access to that to provide themselves the dental care. I mean, just basic dental care. Even if you aren't going to the dentist, you're using fluoride. So I think it is, Richard, as you said, a good time to maybe back up a little bit and go, why? What is the purpose? What is the true purpose of fluoride and putting it in the water? And if the only benefit was because of teeth, we've kind of solved that issue. So maybe we do. I mean, there's no sense in putting fluoride in water. You save the money.
Right.
It would be nice to have a lower water bill if they're not putting fluoride in it, and I'm not being charged for that.
Oh yeah.
You
The water bill is going to go down.
Sure it will.
Not with
we'll adjust
Birmingham, it
that.
won't.
Robbie says, my friend who is an orthodontist told me that the reason everybody's teeth are grayer and grayer is because of fluoride. I was born with yellow teeth, so I'm the wrong person to talk to about this. My teeth have been yellow my entire... You can find pictures of me as a child, color pictures of me as a child with yellow teeth. Like, what is this kid smoking 2 packs a day? What's going on here?
Yeah.
My teeth have never been white. They're never going to be white. I've had dentists and professionals tell me that, you can do all the little whitening stuff you want, but all you're really going to do is make them slightly less yellow. So get used to the idea. Like, okay. But I had a friend in high school who had the grayest teeth I'd ever seen. And I said, what is going on with these teeth, Chuck? And he said, I don't know. He said they started off white. They're getting grayer as time. I said, you don't smoke? You don't even know? I'm wondering if that was the fluoride that was causing that problem. I have no idea. Different people are probably susceptible to different ways, different levels, I would think. Mark says, does Aqua Systems have an under-the-sink water purifier, and how much does that cost? Well, you'll have to call 383-3999 to find out about how much they cost, but I can tell you that, It absolutely, they do have a reverse osmosis system. Which
and we are very transparent in the home improvement business, which is weird. But we are very transparent with our pricing because we all work on salary. We manufacture our stuff. We bypass the middleman. So if you go to our website, callaquasystems.com, there is all the information on the equipment that we sell, even prices. So I know that's weird.
Yeah.
So our
That's
prices
very
for our
unusual.
equipment is on the website.
IWantGreatWater.com. Don't be giving people you're confusing them with the other websites.
Oh well,
okay.
look, you're on TV, you're on radio. You got to be everywhere.
We're everywhere, it's true. We are very happy with our water system here. The sales side of work trucks, I've been meaning to call and get a system for the service side of work trucks.
James.
Okay, James. Love
Yeah.
you, James. Thank you. I'll see you probably on Friday when I come pick up another van from you. Ask if he's ever tested water that is filtered through portable life straws. Asked for primitive camping and hiking. Do those things really work?
They do.
Yeah.
My wife is a section hiker on the Appalachian Trail, and those are specifically bacteria. So it's like raw water out of a stream or
yeah.
a
You
river.
run it through there.
You could drink directly out of a mud puddle.
I actually purchased something similar to that for a trip that I was taking out of the country just for that reason. I was like, I don't want to drink this water and get sick. So I used it's just a little temporary system. But yeah.
That's very effective.
Yeah.
Another texter asked, what is better, well or city water? I would say that depends on the well, doesn't it?
Depends on the well.
Yeah.
There are some wells that you could bottle and sell for $10 a jug, and there's some that you could throw $20,000 at and not fix it. There's no guarantee on the quality of the well because we see a lot of iron, we see a lot of sulfur that makes it smell like rotten eggs.
Mm.
But remember, water is a universal solvent. Whatever gets in the ground can get in the well.
Exactly.
So we test nitrates a lot, especially in rural communities where there's lots of agriculture. And nitrates are a byproduct of fertilizer, and we use that as an indicator test that if nitrates are getting there, anything else they're putting on there is getting in there. I would highly recommend, if you have well water, to have it tested. We do free water testing, and to have it tested through the county health department for bacteria like coliform or E. coli.
Rodney asked the question, wasn't there a report a few years ago that linked fluoride to Alzheimer's? I don't remember that.
I have not
I have
seen
no recollection of
Yeah, we'd need a doctor in the house
I may
for that
have,
one.
I may
maybe.
have read that somewhere, but if I did, I don't have any memory of it. Thank you for the illuminating discussion about fluoride. I know a good bit more now than I did earlier this morning. Hope to see you guys soon. That's from our good friend Spud.
Spud.
Spudley. Good to see you, man. Okay, we're not going down that road. Thank you, Scotty. We appreciate you being here, man.
All right.
If we have any further questions, we shall just pester you at home. Give your home phone number out real quick.
Don't do that.
No?
No.
Okay. Never mind.
Aqua
I will,
systems.
I will say if you are concerned about fluoride or anything else in the water, contact Aqua Systems. Reverse osmosis is your best friend.
Yep.
To reduce everything else. If you are concerned that there is not going to be fluoride in the water, then contact your health or dental professional for more advice, because if just brushing your teeth is not enough, there's fluoride treatments, there's things that you can do.
Sure.
So you're not going to be left out in the cold. So whether you want it or whether you don't, there's options for you. You don't have to fight about it, but do your own research.
Yeah, very good advice.
Beautiful. Speaking of Work Trucks, as we just were, Work Trucks is downtown at 2324 3rd Avenue South, and they're the place to get your next top-quality pre-owned work vehicle. If you need a pickup truck, maybe something with a utility body, maybe a big old dump truck, maybe you're looking for a cargo van, a passenger van, box truck of any kind or size, they have them all. Work Trucks with an X, LLC.com, worktrucksllc.com. Find them there online or drive downtown 2324 3rd Avenue South. Trade, finance, get an extended warranty at Work Trucks, where they are all about trucks. 8:55, Dixon Dividing Talk 99.5, Talk 99.5.com. Shades of my high school homecoming pep rally where an ad hoc band that was thrown together at the last minute with me on drums played this song. We should have tested the lead singer to see whether or not he could actually sing. That was a mistake on our part. Bless his heart.
Bless it.
Bob Carpenter. It is Dixon and Vining. Made mention of this earlier in the day, but you're probably going to be hearing it throughout the course of the day if you tune into and listen to a variety of different news stations, as I do. I have an entire panel on my truck radio that is all Sirius XM news channels, and I flip from one to the other to the other to the other. Well, we're in Skippy zone. And I...
At least the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So you're going to hear this story, or these two stories, repeated over and over again. One is that a federal judge has found that Donald Trump violated free speech by ordering NPR defunded and said that his executive order was unconstitutional. The other is that a federal judge has stopped the construction on the White House ballroom because Donald Trump didn't get approval from Congress. Now, if you're thinking, wow, deja vu, you are correct. Both of these issues have been adjudicated in the past by other judges, and both of these issues came out as Donald Trump on the winning side.
Right. And you're like, well, why are we back here talking about this?
Exactly. The executive order situation where defunding NPR and PBS is concerned is because he did, in fact, issue an executive order that had no merit, no standing. You don't appropriate the funds. The House appropriates the funds. And so when they put together the budget bill, the House appropriated no funds to PBS or NPR. And the president signed off on that. And consequently, that is a law now. The law of the land is passed. That budget is law. And consequently, NPR and PBS don't get any money. And no judge can say anything about it. They already tried. After that law was signed into law, you had a judge that stepped in. Somebody, of course, brought a case, and they said, oh, you can't defund these guys. And immediately the appeals court said, yes, they can. Don't be stupid. You're embarrassing yourself. Take the robe off. You have no business wearing that thing if you don't understand how this works. And then the same thing is true with the ballroom. It's been adjudicated all the way up to the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals. The Supreme Court didn't even take it up. The Supreme Court looked at what the D.C. Circuit Court said, which was unanimously, they said, yeah, he can do this. He doesn't need approval.
You don't need approval
He
from
doesn't need
Congress
approval.
to do it.
No.
Right.
Well,
And again, and one of the main things is that money is not coming from taxpayers. It's Donald Trump and independent people that have come forward and said, yeah, we want to help do this.
And the president is, in fact, the steward of the White House. He gets to decide these things about whether, are we going to clean it? Are we going to paint it?
Right.
Are we going
the flagpoles that he did?
Are we adding things? Are we taking things away? What are we going to do? Many, many, many presidents have done this over the course of decades and centuries even. And for this judge to once again attempt to insinuate himself into it is just ridiculous. And you're going to hear about this on news media, and they're going to uncritically give you this information as if it is some sort of stunning new development.
It's not.
Not a stunning new development.
No.
Nothing stunning, nothing new about it. We've already been down this road. This is pre-chewed food. Yum. And,
It's for the babies.
We're not going to be visiting it again with any luck. We'll see. Nonetheless. Big announcement coming up in the next hour, but first, I got a text yesterday from somebody who asked specifically asked a question specifically about quirky 90s rock and so on and so forth. So since there's not really that much outside of what we have abused you with already in the news today, I figured I'd take the opportunity to kind of give you the rundown on that and maybe educate some people about rock and roll and pop music.
Sounds like fun.
9 o'clock, Dixon Dividing, Talk 99.5.